in to Podro Pascal, a bi-weekly celebration of the actor Pedro Pascal, where we explore his filmography and how some of his greatest performances came to be.
I'm Rachel.
And I'm Catrina.
And this, I can read what I'm supposed to say. And this week, we're covering Burn Notice, The Fall of Sam X.
All of
Uh,
Sam X.
it's going to be a wild one because I'm just going to talk about Bruce Campbell the whole time. Katrina, how are you?
I'm fully feral, Rachel. How how are you today? I'm doing great. No, I'm fully feral. I think that's where I'm at. I think the first sentence I went with, I'm not even gonna
Just
mess
commit to
around with you. I'm just like, I just finished watching this thing like right before we started recording. So like I'm straight off the high of it. And I have theories and I don't want to know anything else outside of my theories. But I'm willing to learn, I guess. How are
You
you?
don't want to know what you're willing to learn
Yeah. People change, Rachel.
within 2 seconds.
Yes, it's called character development.
Oh, buddy.
How are you?
Oh, fine. A lot has happened since our last episode. And I
Mm,
thought a lot had happened when we last saw each other, and then it just kept on happening. Um, because I guess a quick rundown is we're gonna talk a lot about it, but the quick rundown is we went to Star Wars Celebration. I came home. I did press for Lightyear where Chris Evans said hi. First of all, hi Rachel, I love Rachel. And Taika
mhm.
Waititi also said he loved me, so that was fun for me as a human. And then second, I went to the Tonys where Hugh Jackman, I do not think has given me COVID. I'm negative, so I think I'm in the clear. But Hugh Jackman had COVID at the Tony Awards.
Dang, that
Um,
Jackman strain is going around.
Listen, I was nowhere near him, and as I tweeted, I feel like I'm the only person ever who was like, I'm very happy that I was nowhere near Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, you didn't get jacked up by
And then
Jack.
I just, yeah,
Good stuff.
I didn't. And that's the quick rundown of where I'm at mentally. It's been a whirlwind.
Yeah, it's been it's quite a set of weeks, I would say. I'm so excited. I'm getting the wedding registry ready for Chris and Rachel. We're all so happy. Taika's going to be the flower girl, which is everyone's really excited, you guys. But it was great. Oh my god! Like I would love to talk about celebration for a second because
Well,
that's
yeah,
like the
I
first
I feel like
time.
it's gonna be the bulk of
Yeah,
this episode because while I love a good burn notice, I don't know what we're gonna talk about. So it's like I figured celebration was gonna be the bulk of this.
yeah, yeah. Like
Yeah, go through your feelings. I'll go through mine, then we can talk about what we did together, all that good stuff.
yeah, this was supposed okay, in theory, this was my first celebration where I was purposefully not working. I didn't sign up for press opportunities. I wasn't working on like looking for Leia or anything. And so like I bought a 4-day pass and I was like, I'm gonna have the chillest celebration weekend ever. And that was not the case. Which is in most ways it's all very good. Like it was an incredible weekend. Like I spoke on 2 panels, which was really cool. Triad of the Force had me on their podcast panel, and I also spoke on the Latinx representation panel, which was really great. Like our friend Danny was there, Hector Navarro was there, Kayla Dom Soto, John Rochelle. Just the whole panel was fantastic that day, and we were up against like the Bad Batch, so I was surprised that like we almost had a completely full hallway and you were there. Thank you so much for that.
I was there taking
Yeah,
pictures with a proud mom in the corner. I was just like,
yeah, that was so much fun. Like I'm really glad that I got those opportunities, and like it was nice to have, I guess, like the because we're gonna hear all about what it's like doing press at Celebration when you start speaking in a minute. And so I just like I enjoyed, even though I was running around like all the way through the con, there was like not a moment where I wasn't like running to try and get to like a friend or a booth or a panel or whatever. But I enjoyed like having this year where I was just like, I'm just gonna attend as a fan and and like just really enjoy it and embrace it and take in what we get this year, because like, we were given quite a bit this year. We had some great experiences. How about
Yeah.
you?
Oh, so for me, I was, as Katrina said, I was press, which was slightly different. It was my first ever celebration and also my first press celebration. So I got there. Me, Katrina, and our producer Ashley were all in a room with our friend Arzu. So it was really fun because we all kind of like, we didn't get to hang out in the room that much, but we all hung out together throughout the weekend. So that was kind of fun. But it was nice to be back home in Cali, even though I was nowhere near from where I lived. Um, it was just kind of fun to be there, and it felt normal, even though like I think we were the only group of people who didn't end up with COVID,
Hmm.
um, because we all wore masks and stayed away from people because I don't like people, so it
Hmm.
worked out. But celebration was really cool because the first day with my press pass, that meant I got to go into, like, I had seats for the big panels, uh and so I got to go into the like Lucasfilm showcase that they did, which I felt like I was going to break as a human being because it was just like so many things that I love thrown at me all at the same time. And I don't do well with that. Like, I truly thought my brain, like, I was having like an aneurysm when the Disney shareholders meeting happened, like, I guess 2 years ago, and they announced like all the Star Wars and all the Marvel stuff all at once, and I felt like my brain was exploding because they announced like couldn't comprehend what was going on. And that was kind of the same feeling. Like, I was like, "Oh, I'm dying. Great, cool. Like, I'm dying in a room full of Star Wars nerds. No notes." Um, but like for me, that day specifically, yes, I saw Hayden Christensen. Yes, I saw like these people that I love and have loved my whole life. But the thing that fully just kind of like broke me as a human, Katrina's nodding because she knows what picture I'm about to show, was John Williams comes out, does the Obi-Wan Kenobi theme for the first time. We were all like, holy shit, that's really cool. Then I don't know why my brain didn't correlate this, but it did not. Kathleen Kennedy was like, "Oh, John Williams also wrote a really important score. It is not connected to Star Wars, but it is part of Lucasfilm." So he starts playing the Indiana Jones theme. I assumed it was just going to be like pictures from Indiana Jones. What I was not prepared for was to see the love of my life since I was 6 years old, Harrison Ford, walk out on stage. And when he did, I looked like this. Um, my friend Maggie Lovett, friend of the pod, she's been here.
Let
Um,
us know if you want that on a shirt. I want it on a shirt.
took this picture of me because there are like 5 pictures of me from Celebration on chairs because I'm short. So I just would stand up on a chair so I could see what was going on. And I was up on a chair sobbing, and Maggie took a picture of me just ugly crying because I saw Harrison Ford. And then obviously we're gonna talk about our joint stuff. Another cool thing was I did the Mandalorian panel, so I saw Pedro Pascal for the first time. Granted, he was hundreds of feet away, but I saw him. Um, and I just kept taking really dumb selfies with, because it looked, sir, if you're listening to this, please tell me yes or no. It looked as if he could see me because it was like there was no one in between me and him. Like, all of the heads split. It was like the red sea. And it was just like I kept having Ashley, I'm sure, is making fun of me because she made fun of me at the time. It literally looked like the Red Sea had parted, and it was just a straight line for to me and like Pedro Pascal. And I was like, can this man see me? And Ashley also said she's making fun of me quietly. Because I texted her and I was like, I feel like he can just see me. He can't. I'm well aware. I'm hundreds of feet away. However, in my mind, he could see me.
Mhm.
Um, and then the other thing that was great that happened that was not Katrina and I adjacent was I got to go to Star Wars night. So after our lovely podcast meetup that we will talk about, because that is a joint thing, I started walking towards Disney because I had tickets for Star Wars night. And as I was walking there, our lovely producer Ashley texted me and said, "Are you on your way over here? Because Jon Favreau is walking." And now, if you know anything about me, you know I love Jon Favreau. Can't explain it. It's always kind of been there. I just love Jon Favreau. I love The Replacements. I love Chef. I love the movie Swingers. I love everything he's ever done. I love him. And so I've never spoken to him. I've never seen this man in the flesh. So this weekend was a whole to do because I was like, oh my God, I'm seeing Jon Favreau. So Ashley texts me, and all of my friends turn around and I'm gone because I was beelining up to where him and Dave Filoni were. But instead of talking to Jon Favreau, I say to Dave Filoni, like, "Hey, you make Pittsburgh proud." And he's like, "Are you from there?" I was like, "I'm from Newcastle because that's where I was born, which is like a little bit outside of Pittsburgh." And I didn't say a word to Jon Favreau, but what I did was take a very bad selfie of myself with Jon Favreau just because. Um,
Oh my God, Rachel. Oh wow. Oh wow.
this is Mara Jade, mind you. I am dressed like the now defunct
Incredible.
character Mara Jade. Um,
Wow.
yeah. And so and it is my contact photo in Ashley's phone. The minute I took it, she was like, "That's my contact photo for you."
Oh
Um,
my God, that's amazing.
but yeah, so my weekend was a lot of that, like moments that I'm like, "This feels wrong. I shouldn't be here," and then also not caring. I did spill coffee all over myself as the Grand Inquisitor himself, Rupert Friend, just was like looking for his people to come lead him where he needed to go. I just like dumped a Starbucks coffee everywhere in my mask. Like I was holding my mask like this, and there's just like a
Oh
pool of
no.
coffee.
Oh
And
my God.
that's the press experience of Star Wars Celebration. I did other cool things, but like that was the one that, like all of that nonsense is
Yeah,
what I remember more.
that sounds like Star Wars Celebration to me. You know, lots of magic moments. There's you know, we ran into some celebrities we didn't expect. That was kind of cool. Like, yeah, I mean, I think the big thing we should talk about is the meetup, which was so exciting.
Mhm.
I'll be honest with you guys, when Rachel and I planned this, we were like, it's gonna be us and Ashley getting drunk at the fire pit. Like
And
that's
maybe some of our friends that we were staying with would come.
yeah, exactly. Like maybe if some of our roommates would like grace us with like their presence before they go to Disney or whatever. But this ended up being really cool. Like it was a really great get together, and I was really happy that everyone was so down with it being like outside, and the location worked out so well because there was like a walk up bar for people who wanted to drink, and people who didn't could just come and vibe. It was so cool, and it was really nice to just like get to see that like real people listen to our podcast. That was wow, that was insane for me.
Yeah, like it was wild to have people like say, "Oh, hey, like I'm so and so," like, and I've seen them on Twitter. And that
Mm,
was like the crazy part. It's like, "Oh yeah, like you've tweeted, like I've seen your Twitter name tweeted at us." But it was like weird to like have people that you're talking
yeah.
to.
Oh wait,
Um,
here we go. Yeah, we've got some shots from the meetup here. So
yeah.
like here's like some of the group filtering in. There's like Rachel in the Mara Jade outfit, some of our friends from podcastings, and me over there on my phone, I guess. We had it outside of Trader Sam's, which you guys can see in the background in the Disneyland plaza, the hotel plaza, and it was great. It was like some meet guys showed up, some of our friends showed up, and then like after y'all left for the for Star Wars night, a couple shifts of other people kind of like came through. So it was
Like
really nice to
our
have
friend Tori came in after. There was a lot of like it was like a mix of I think you said it was nice because it was a mix of like publishing
that.
and
Mhm.
Podro just all kind of
Yeah,
merged.
just like hanging out. Like that was cool because it was just like, having like actual published Star Wars authors like intermingle with us was like, oh, that's cool. Like I'm glad we provided them that space, you know?
Yeah. And it was just that was really fun because I think it made us realize that people like listen. We had a lot of okay, so we also should talk about all of our friends on the Saturday that Podro Pascal was there who were like I our one friend Christina who we're hoping to get on the pod is huge in Star Wars, and then our other friends who are like above me in the press lineup, they were all on like the press line, and Christina interviewed him for Star Wars. And they all just kept yelling Podro Pascal at this man in different ways
Yeah.
because they were our friends. So our friend Laura, who I love very much, she just like interviewed him and he walked away and she just screamed Podro Pascal, I guess. And he turned around and was like, and then I think Maggie said, like, everyone kind of kept being like
Mhm.
Podro Pascal. And then Christina interviewed him and she said it too. And he was like, my God, like all of them, like kept being like, hey, you should, those are our friends. You should listen to that.
Yep.
And so either he hates us now or he's just so well aware that he's like, okay, I'm gonna listen. Uh,
Both are equal possibilities, and you know what? I'm willing to roll the dice
yeah,
when it comes to how he knows us. But it's I mean I think that all of that kind of equals out to like I'm so thankful for the overwhelming support we have received in these past few months. Like it's just been so cool to see the audience grow and to meet other people in the very specific Pedro Pascal fandom. Like it's just I love it when I can find a sub fandom because it's just it feels a little stronger and a little more fun. So I hope that you guys really love this show because we have some really big plans for it that are way bigger than doing Burn Notice, which is what we're going to do today. Um, but yeah, like
we're gonna talk about Bruce Campbell so much because it's me.
oh yeah,
He's over. I can't get him off my wall, but I have a picture of Bruce Campbell like right next to my bed.
as you should, as you should.
But like, yeah, it's very nice because it's like this started because I was watching his stuff during quarantine and I was like, I want to do a podcast. And Katrina was like, okay. And it was just, it started as like a why not? What are we doing? We're trapped inside. And now it's kind of like this fun thing where people know us and like listening to it. And our friends keep telling Pedro Pascal, like, hey, listen to this podcast. And it's just very nice. I don't know. I don't know.
We're excited to grow with you and to continue celebrating this like extensive and interesting.
Grow with you. That's great.
Yeah, I don't know. We've got so much to talk about over the coming year. Like we could
Ashley, can we
literally
put
do
that
like
on a
five
shirt?
episodes, huh?
I said, Ashley, can we put that on a shirt? We're excited to grow with you.
Oh God, come on. Sorry, I
It
talk
was
like an
so
elementary
good.
school teacher. I'm
It
sorry.
truly, like, that would have been a quote on, like, Abbott Elementary, and I would have been like, yes, someone's making fun of someone for this quote. But I
I
love it
can't
so
help
much.
it.
Hashtag we grow with you.
We grow
Um,
with you.
but we're not done talking about Star Wars Celebration because it was also really cool because it was the first time that Katrina and I got to actually meet and hang out in person. Oh, wait, Ashley, before we say this, Ashley said I could make it into a fortune cookie design.
Oh God.
Katrina's we grow with you. It's the first time we got to meet together in person, and it was really cool because it was well, we clearly can get along on a virtual level, but it
Yeah.
was fun getting to hang out and like talk to each other and like not be exclusively on the computer.
I know it was like we got to, and of course our producer Ashley was also there, part of our roomie lineup, and
I was like,
so
I've met her before. I met her
you
at
guys
Miles.
we have it, which is wild because it's wild because we live in LA, but it's totally expected because we live
She
in
said,
LA.
wow, she's yelling at me because I said I met her before. It's not a lie. I had met Ashley before Katrina.
Yep. So it's like it was nice to just kind of have everybody together and especially because everything has been changing so much for the podcast recently. So it's kind of like it was good to congregate and like be together and experience stuff together because like this show was something real special. And we have like a couple photos. I think like okay, this one's my favorite that Ashley took. I
That
think it's
was
so cute.
when we were also being sad 'cause it was the end of Celebration,
Yeah.
and they were talking about, like, the best thing about Star Wars is the fans and the love for the franchise, and we're standing there in the back just like,
That's
um,
hilarious. Yeah. That was closing ceremonies. I loved that. Oops, not that. Sorry. We'll get to
that's
that
a
later.
little sneak peek for our news that is about our celebration. And
Mhm.
there's also we another cool thing we got to do was at Celebration, they had this, the Mandalorian experience, which had set pieces and things from the show. It was really cool because we got to walk through. Katrina had already done it. We just snuck her in. We were like, she's with us. And they went, oh, okay. And they just let her
Whatever.
in.
Go ahead.
And it was for a brief moment. We thought it wasn't going to work. And then the guy let her in. Um,
Yep.
but it did mean that we got to do a prayer to the Mandalorian.
Yes, we prayed at the altar. We put in our time.
I feel
You
like
know.
there are what, 2, 3 pictures of us doing this just
Oh
right.
yeah. This pose. Like there are like other photos too that we'll probably share later on, but like this was the one I really wanted because I was like, we have to kneel at the altar, and put in our respects.
Yeah, we did. Got to see all the set pieces. Grogu would wave at us, so I died. I died there. Also, my bit was I just kept taking pictures of all of the things as close up as possible. So it was like everyone's face was like this, like in my pictures. And I just because I think in my brain in that moment, this was like the last day of celebration. I was like, everybody and their mother has good pictures. What if I just zoomed in on everyone's faces? And so I did. I did take a good picture of the Cobb Vanth costume because there is a moment. Katrina, I can't remember if you had left yet, but like, no, because you were with Maggie. So we were all still in there. Everyone was like, oh, Rachel, there's the Matt Berry droid because I love
Mhm.
what we do in the shadows. And I went, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I had started to just beeline, and no one knew what I was beelining for. And then Arsu saw it and was like, she found the Cobb Vanth, like because I had just like gone and no one
Ah,
found Cobb Vanth.
incredible. Yes. We should put your close-up photos up as a gallery on our
Yeah,
Instagram.
Instagram will have the gallery pictures
All
of
this
this.
stuff.
The
Yeah.
what the like dragon one is probably that dragon alien
Mm.
that is in Boba Fett. That's probably my favorite close up because it's like I'm acting it out for the listeners. I'm acting out what the dragon thing looks like, and I just kept zooming in. That on Max Rebo, I did it. Um,
Max
I did it
Rebo.
on the things that they look like they have ball sacks on their face.
Mhm.
Those things, I
Oh,
did it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I know what you're
Yeah, I
talking
did it on that. Like I just kept doing it on all these aliens. I was like, this is funny. Got so many on the frog lady. She just looked disappointed in me.
about.
Um, but
Was
yeah,
it was with you and Maggie that we also for like a hot second we were right behind Matthew Wood, and he was like, yeah, he was like explaining like the frog lady to like
yeah,
his kids or something, and I was like, I want to go slow and just like quietly stop the Matthew Wood tour because I really
yeah.
want to hear him keep talking.
And in true me fashion, I just rolled up in there and I was like, "Ha!" and just like proceeded to just do whatever I was gonna do. And then
Exactly, like
finally, I
you
think,
took off immediately.
yeah,
I was like, all right, fine, let's go.
I instantly was like, I don't know, bye. And then everyone afterwards was like, that was Matthew. And I was like, wait, what? And I didn't know. I was like, this guy's just talking so much. I'm just trying to take pictures of the frog lady as close as just trying to zoom in as much as I can. And then Christina was in love with Samantha. The
Yes. Sabantha the Bantha. Dude, I could hold like a 30-minute conversation with that Bantha, and I did. She was so they had a fully puppeteered Grogu within the N1 starfighter, in the middle of the floor, who would wave to you and like interact with you. But they also had a puppet, Bantha, who was like full size, that they used on the show, and the employees there had named her Sabantha, and she's like 40 years old, and you can interact with her. It was just so cute. Like it was adorable. Like there are a bunch of photos across the internet now, I'm sure, but I thought it was a great. I love stuff like that. I love it when it's interactive.
And I think at one point you were like, "I love you, Samantha," and she, like, had a shy face and, like, turned away.
Yes,
I was
I
like, "This is the
was
greatest day of everyone's lives, this Bantha's interacting with everybody."
she was adorable, and I need more stuff like that. Like I want a full-fledged puppeteer Rancor next celebration. I want interactions with the Rancor
In London.
in London. I don't know how I'm gonna get there, but I
That's why
will.
we gotta start saving money. Maybe by then, Pedro Pascal will have been on the podcast, and they'll be like, "Yes, please come to
Right.
Star Wars
Just come
Celebration."
on over. Come on his private jet.
Well, yeah, his private jet.
The Pedro plane.
Oh, buddy. But yeah, so it was an adventure, it was very fun. I'm so glad I did it.
Mhm.
Um, I was so nervous, but we had so much fun, and that's not all. We also have other news because
Yeah.
it was celebration, so we took a little time. As I said earlier, a lot also has happened since then. Um, I guess, according to Katrina, I'm getting married. But,
Yep. Mhm.
so also, we finally got a picture from The Last of Us that is not a grainy set picture that you can
Yay!
barely see his face. Granted, in the lead up to this, we had a couple that were like pretty good of Ellie and Joel, and those were really nice. I'm really excited too because my friend Sophie, I don't think she listens, but my friend Sophie Martin, shout out to her. I love her. She played the game because I'm bad at video games. She played the game so I could watch the playthrough. Gave me the comic for the show. So for this series. So I'm really excited to read that too. But what we got were some pretty good sneaky set pictures of Joel and Ellie, but we got an actually HD picture of the two of them from Summer Game Fest, I believe it was. I've written it like 4 times, but I couldn't tell you what it is. Which has both Joel and Ellie hiding, and if you look directly dead center in the back, in very much a shadow, there's a clicker.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's like our first real look at them.
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
we saw
very
the
sweet.
back of their heads, but yes, this
Mhm.
is the first picture that's like high def. You can actually see Joel and Ellie. And it's really cool. I'm so excited about and they rapped too.
Hmm. I'm
So
scared, but I'll see it.
it's not that scary. I mean, granted, I don't okay. I'm bad about scary stuff, but I'm not bad about that. Wait, I have it flip flopped. I'm not bad about scary stuff, but I don't like zombies.
Right.
Um, and like The Walking Dead kind of pushed it a lot. Like I watched it, but I was like, I don't know. I don't really like zombie stuff. The game and everything, it didn't bother me. And I think maybe because the clickers become weird. They don't look like demogorgons, but they have like things on their face. That one looked like a demogorgon, but like they have weird like growths and stuff, so they don't look like zombies. So it's a little bit more like, oh, I can handle this. Granted, we don't know what the show's going to be. They say it's going to be different than the game. Who knows? But,
But invite us to the premiere.
huh?
Just subliminal messaging. Just putting it out there. I feel like we should be there. I feel like we should get to go to the premiere.
Yeah, I mean, we should. I thought you said when does it premiere? I'm like, I don't know,
Oh, no,
but
no, no,
yes,
no, no.
we should go to the premiere.
You should go to
Hey,
the premiere.
HBO,
Hey.
just saying. Um, I think we'd be great. Well, what if we hosted it? I'm sure
I
gamers would hate it, but like, what if we hosted it?
Yeah. What if we, what if we did that? What if we just hosted the whole premiere?
Yeah, but what if we just were the hosts and then we were like, hey guys, remember us? We're Podro Pascal.
Look at how far we've gone. Yes.
Imagine we'd be like, but yeah, that is it for
That's
the
news.
news.
Yes. Now let's spend 5 minutes on this movie.
All right, we're gonna get into this movie that is part of a show that I have only briefly watched. I guess I guess I should do this. This is the rundown, if you could call it that.
Mhm.
Because part of the problem with this is I have to know the entire run of Burn Notice, and I don't. I've seen some episodes I like a lot because it is Bruce Campbell, who I talked about earlier, who was famous for the Evil Dead franchise. I loved him as a child. I love him as an adult. I think he's fun. He's charismatic. He's very charming.
Love
I'm
him
not
in
going to watch all of Burn Notice. Sorry. Um, so much TV is on my list, and I fell off that show and never went back. So watching this, I was like, I do not know how this connects to the larger show. I don't know if it's a flashback. I don't know if it's a standalone. I don't know what it is. So the rest of this episode is vibes only, as the kids say. Um, and that's just the way it is because you know what? Pedro Pascal is very hot in it, and that's what counts.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be honest. I'll preface it. I'm so sorry to the fans of Burn Notice, but when I first found out about this, I somehow confused it for like Miami Vice. And I was like, oh, that show that was filmed in Miami. I didn't know Pedro was on that show. That's wild. And then I looked it up and I was like, when I first saw the mini TV movie, I guess it's called, I was like, oh, is this like a parody movie that exists within this world? Like, what's the deal? So that's the lens I viewed it through, which made it even more interesting. I would like to think than it originally was. I would like to think it's something that someone within the world of Burn Notice is watching like as a TV movie.
um so yeah. So quick context.
Mhm.
Basically what's happening is you are watching as Sam, Bruce Campbell, is explaining why his mission fell apart to his higher ups, and because he is a military man, a navy man, I don't know what it is, navy, air force, one of them. He's one of them. He's in the nice little uh army military outfits. Um so he is telling them why his mission went awry, and in telling him why his mission went awry, he talks about this man named Velacruz, who is his kind of like contact when he goes to Colombia. Um what a lens into where Pedro Pascal was going to go a couple years later, because it is quite literally where they filmed Narcos, I think. Um, and so yeah, so it's just all about Veracruz kind of turning on Veracruz. I'm see, Ashley just texted me Veracruz. It is Veracruz. I don't know why I said Bella, but I'm doing great. Veracruz, my bad, is all about like they're talking about basically murdering Bruce Campbell and turning on him, and like getting away, like framing uh this group that are supposedly bad for like their action, like Veracruz's team's actions. And the whole TV movie is just kind of about how they're betraying each other because Veracruz doesn't realize that Sam knows, so he's trying to one up them, and it's just kind of a boop a doop a doop a doo back and forth. And it's funny, but not, because
Yeah.
I guess
It's
that is Burn Notice from what I remember of Burn Notice. Um, but yeah, like it's kind of it's cool because it is again, I love Bruce Campbell, so it was cool to see Pedro Pascal and Bruce Campbell together because I've seen the pictures of Veracruz, did not know it was from this, so I didn't know that the other guy was Bruce Campbell.
yeah, that was a nice surprise. You know,
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. I'm glad we got that. It's like the equivalent of a Cajun Pedro Pascal pairing.
Yeah, well, because it's the energy. Like, for the listeners who don't know, Bruce Campbell has this energy about him that's kind of like if you met a man that was like Bruce Campbell in real life, I'm sure you would be like, that man is a swarmy asshole. But there's something about Bruce Campbell that you're just like, oh, okay, well, I don't hate it.
Mm-hmm.
And it just works. And I think maybe it's because I grew up watching the Evil Dead movies. So I always loved Ash. And then Bruce Campbell has also been in all of Sam Raimi's Spider-Man movies. He was just in Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness. And Burn Notice was kind of like he's been in other stuff, but Burn Notice was kind of the other big thing he did that was separate from all of that. So it was really kind of cool to see Bruce Campbell in a different element, even though he was still Bruce Campbell. Um, but yeah, like I am sure if you were a fan of Burn Notice, this was a cool thing. For me as a fan of Bruce Campbell and Pedro Pascal, I was like, that's what's cool about it. I have no idea what's going on in any of these characters' storylines or how it connects to a larger thing.
Yeah, and that's about where I'm at too. Like I enjoy it. I did enjoy watching it, but I took it in from a first time viewer's lens. So I think the biggest thing I can highlight here is that it did occur during Pedro's villain era, which I would like to label as like the 2010s.
Yeah, 'cause this was 2011.
Yeah. So late 2010s. Sorry, whatever. Right before Game of Thrones
No,
started.
it's the beginning of the 2010s.
Technically the 2010s, right? Like not the 2000s. Whatever. I'm real tired.
No, you're right. It's the beginning of
Yeah.
the
So it
2010s.
was his villain era. Like he was out there playing bad guys left and right, and they weren't like cinnamon roll bad guys yet. They were bad guys, and he was out there like, yeah, I'm gonna blow up some people and do some stuff. And but his real motivation was pretty unclear to me the whole time. So it was just kind of like, oh, well, I really like his haircut. Like
Oh,
I'm
he
on
looks hot.
board.
Like,
He looks hot. It looks
don't
fantastic.
get me wrong. Here,
Wow, look at
thank you to
that.
our producer Ashley who got me this picture because it's Bruce Campbell and Pedro. Um, it was before he wore mustaches and everything. Um,
Yeah.
but he
Yeah.
does have very long sideburns.
Mm-hmm.
A chin
Yep.
beard. I don't know exactly what that is. But
He looks very clean. He
yes,
looks like he just showered right before
he
he came
looks
out to assault people.
yeah, he looks hot. Like one of the scenes that he's like they're assaulting a teenager for trying to steal food. And like Bruce Campbell's like, hey now, let's give her some food. And so the energies are wild. I loved it though, because I was just like, I love these two. I don't know what's going on, but this is
Yeah.
fine. I do have to ask, Katrina, what was one of your theories that you have?
About what? Veracruz?
You just said you had theories, but you don't want to know.
Mm. Well, so one of them was that it was an in-world movie.
Okay,
Um,
that it was Miami.
that like they were all actors, and like somebody was like watching this from the regular show or something. Like because I wasn't aware that this was a Bruce Campbell show at the moment. So I was like, oh, okay, but I guess this is just like a TV movie, like a special or whatever. Maybe it's the main character's favorite TV show, and that's what I'm watching right now.
You were inspired by the film Lightyear.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. This is not Burn Notice. This is the Burn Notice that like the toy version
This
of
is
Burn
the
Notice.
movie that Jeffrey Donovan's character watched and inspired him to become whatever he is, a spy.
Exactly. Like this is the inspiration,
Yeah.
and so that's why it was so the wackiness of it like kind of worked when I watched it through that lens. And so my theory was that they were all just like actors, and like this was Pedro Pascal was actually Pedro Pascal just playing someone in this movie, but in an in-world sense. So it's very meta to me, and I liked it that way. And I think if you watch it that way, it'll be a whole new movie for you.
Yeah, and I mean, I think you're right. Jeffrey Donovan is in this movie. Just learned a crazy fact. Sorry, I keep saying his name. Jeffrey Donovan plays Michael in Burn Notice, who is the main character who is not in this for more than 5 minutes. Um,
Mm-hmm.
he's at a bar talking to Sam in the very beginning, and that's it.
Yeah, yeah,
Jeffrey
that guy.
Donovan, directed this. Why I'm shook is because Jeffrey Donovan is American. I assumed that man was not American. I was like, that guy's like Irish. He's from Boston, the Boston area. He's from Massachusetts. Um, fully thought that man was Irish. So that's a little crazy to learn in the middle of a podcast that I just assumed that guy wasn't from here, but he is. And yeah, that's I don't really have much else to say about Burn
Yeah,
Notice.
but I was, this was a reader or a viewer listener suggested episode, so I wanted to thank everybody who voted for it and suggested we watch it. It was cool. It was wacky. It's good to see some vintage Pedro out there, and especially as part of such a great cast. Like, look at that. That's beautiful. We're looking at an image of Pedro and Bruce Campbell, and Bruce is in
I'm
his
gonna take
bright
it away
blue
from me
U.S.
for my
Navy
favorite.
outfit. Yeah,
I love I just
it's
I love it so much. Bruce Campbell, I don't know. Again, I said I was going to do this. I was just going to talk about Bruce Campbell the whole time. And I'm sorry that if you thought putting them together was going to make me not talk about Bruce Campbell. You don't know me, but there's just their energy. I want them now in something that is not so connected to a larger thing that I don't know that much about. I want the two of them in just like a movie where it's like both of them have this kind of energy that you're like, I don't know what it is, but I just love them. So I want
mhm.
them to be in something that is less no, I don't want to say less connected because if they were both in a Marvel movie, I would combust. But I mean like
Let's do
less
another original, and then in
yeah.
this one though, Bruce is the bad guy and Pedro's the hero.
Bruce
Switch the
Campbell, the bad guy
Bruce. Yes, Bruce Campbell, bad guy.
era?
He's been the hero too many times.
Well,
It's time to
sure.
flip it around.
If you could call Ash a hero,
I
Ash
mean,
was
he's
more than
heroic.
like
He's
Ash was like, I got roped into this shit, and now
he's
I
like
gotta do
kind
it.
of a hero.
I
Just
love
the by
Ashley
association.
Williams. Sorry to our producer whose name is Ashley, but I love Ashley Williams, also known as Ash from the Evil Dead franchise, oh so very much. He is imperfect, and those movies, while like I guess by today's standards are probably kind of sexist, I just love them because I love that they are so campy and weird. Um,
Mhm.
and that they have created this huge fucking universe around them. And it's all about I just love Bruce Campbell. I love him so much. He's
He's
a
an icon.
mess.
He's incredible, and I want more. I want another movie with him and Pedro in it very
Yeah.
much. So
So Catrina and
yes,
I are gonna write that movie. And that's the next step for Podro Pascal is we're gonna
yes,
write a movie for Bruce Campbell.
exactly. We'll do a table read here, and I'll do my best Pedro impression, and you can do
I'll
your
be
best
Bruce
Bruce
Campbell,
impression.
obviously.
Yeah, 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 obviously. And we're gonna do it. Let's just do it. We'll write that down. Put that on our assigned task list. We'll work on it.
I'm sure my brother will not be angry at me for the rest of my life if I get to write a movie for Bruce Campbell before he
We're gonna
does.
do it. It'll work. We'll do
I,
like a short film.
yeah, just a short film. Um, but
I can't dedicate my time to a full fledged film. I'm sorry, Bruce.
what
We gotta
we'll
do it.
do
We
is a
gotta do
TV
the TV
movie.
style. Yeah.
We'll do a TV.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll do a short film version, and then we'll try to sell the long film version. But
Yeah,
we got to put on our best Bruce and Pedro impressions. We got to work on that.
yeah, because yeah, I gotta get that energy down. But yeah, so what this now means is that we are into my favorite part of the episode, which is stash, 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 stash. The stash on everybody's lips is gonna be. Pedro's.
Yay! Yes.
It's time for Stash of the Week.
Woo! Yes.
Katrina?
So there were no stashes in this production this
No,
week.
as I previously stated, it was a
Yeah.
weird cyber situation.
And I didn't necessarily pick out a stash, so I'm going with a classic Photoshop image that I did myself. This one as Pedro as the Teletubby sunshine, just shining. You know, I feel like it's been a long day. We should all get to look at his happy face, just smiling there like the sunshine.
You're not
Yes,
incorrect.
I know, and it's a
Uh,
great stash. Great stash.
it is a great stash. For me, I chose the first time I saw his. Oh wait, I'm so stupid. I kept saying this was the first time I saw him. I saw King Lear, so this is not the first time I saw him in person. I've seen the man before. He was just playing a character. Uh, Clarification for the wiki page. I have seen Pedro Pascal's face before in person because never forget King Lear, the production we can't talk about. But this was the first time since Podro Pascal that I saw Pedro Pascal. And so I picked his little celebration look. He had this nice little outfit on that looked kind of like pajamas. Um, but he looked so cute.
I like the gray in his beard.
Yeah, little gray right here.
Oh,
He's little gray in his beard. He's smiling, probably looking directly down that Red
that
Sea.
road, just straight at you, Rachel.
Yeah, right
Look at
down
her,
that Red
Rachel.
Sea.
There she is. She's so cool.
Who's
Rachel's
the
great.
blonde girl? Is that Rachel? Her hair was brown before, but now it's blonde. But yeah, that's my stash of the week. And yeah, any other thoughts, Katrina, on Burn Notice? The Fall of Sam?
No, it was a fun little watch. I'm glad we watched it. And now I really want that role switch movie. Like, that's all I'm going to think about. Who knows what I'll be doing next time I show up to this podcast? I may be like waving around the script, like, no, forget everything we're doing. We're going to read this right now. Whoever's the guest, they're going to have to. Sorry, you're going to have to bleep that out.
Stage directions.
They're going to have to read my script with me. Okay, that's just how it's going to have to be. We're ready.
You're reading the stage directions. Go.
Go.
Oh, brother. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, look, I liked it. He was hot. It was fun. I liked the energies. I liked Bruce Campbell and I like Pedro Pascal, so it ruled. I just wish I had the time to watch all of Burn Notice um before watching it. Granted, you don't have to watch all of Burn Notice before watching it. You have to watch the first 4 seasons. Did not have the time to watch the first 4 seasons of a USA Network television show.
Nope.
Wish that I did. But yeah, so I realized we didn't talk about we have some exciting stuff to come. We're going to start trying to push out merch. When we hit 1,000 Twitter followers. So get your friends to follow us on everything, like, subscribe, the whole gambit.
Yes.
We're gonna do a giveaway when we hit 1,000. And yeah, we have a lot of stuff cooking. Like, pretend this is like a little witch's pot. I'm just cooking it in the witch.
Yeah, we are really close. Like, we have like 925 followers to go as of this recording. When it comes to getting to 1,000 followers, so or not 900, 125. What am I talking about? Yeah. So, like, I can do math. Whatever's like. Go ahead, tell your mom to follow us. Say it's cool. It's so you can be a cool mom.
Yeah, go ahead and tag Pedro Pascal and things and just be like, follow, so then we're not the ones doing it. Just tag him.
Those people from The Last of Us. Just like tell them, hey, what's up? We've got
Hey,
your red carpet host right here.
We got 2 girls ready to go to the premiere.
Yeah, come on. I live like very close to where a premiere would be. Rachel can come crash my couch and we can host the premiere. It'd be easy.
Yeah. Actually, I think that game is they're in Pittsburgh at one point or close to Pittsburgh. I'll go home.
Yeah.
I got places. Katrina and I can stay at my brother's. Sorry to my brother and sister-in-law. Just
Our
like
availability is open. It's open, HBO.
yeah,
That's all
fly
we're saying.
me to Canada. I don't mind.
It'd be so
Um,
easy.
yeah, I'll swim somewhere if I have to. If it's in London, I'll just get in the water. Um, it's me on the way to the Last of Us premiere.
Come on.
I feel like
Let's go.
my neighbors are having a party on a Thursday, and as we were doing that, I could just hear them cheering. In the background, yeah. So that's what I assume HBO is doing. But yeah, there's a lot of cool things coming. Guys, I want to reiterate, I didn't not like The Fall of Sam Max. I just didn't know enough of the lore of the full show of Burn Notice. I feel like I stopped after season 2.
I like it. It was fun. Forgive me for constantly wanting to view it through the meta lens that I want to view it through. But it's part of Bird Notice Legends. That's how I want to say it is.
So before we end this, I do have to clarify. So in your theory, Don Johnson is watching this movie?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
He's watching this movie. Yeah.
Don Johnson is like, who's this guy? Who's this Sam Max guy?
Exactly.
Oh yeah, and also there was a lot we didn't get into because they like make a bomb at one point and run.
And there's like this weird kissing scene. Like there's some stuff like stuff.
I wore this sports bra because it kind of matches. I don't know if you can see. It matches like everyone's costumes, which is I went for a mix of both. But yeah, guys, I think we did it. If you want us to do another episode on this, give us notes. Send us exact things to talk about. Because otherwise, I'm going to talk about Bruce Campbell, and then Katrina's going to be like, yeah, Miami Vice. So, just... this is what you signed up for. But yeah. Can't wait to watch. What is the other one? NYPD Blue? Can't wait for that.
He's like a goth boy. Yeah.
But that's Smits. And I watched a lot of NYPD Blue in my house because my mom loved Jimmy Smits. So I feel like, all moms love Jimmy Smits. I watched that really bad movie he did with Ellen Barkin where they, I think it's called Switch. I don't know if you've ever heard of this. It's bad. Guys, when I was a kid, I loved it, but it is problematic. But Jimmy Smits is
for our Jimmy Smits podcast. What the Smits? Coming soon.
What the Smits, where we can't watch 90% of the things he was in the 90s because they're problematic in 2022. But we just watch In the Heights on repeat.
Yeah, basically. Let's not talk about how that role translated on stage either.
Guys, whoo, buddy. So Katrina, tell the people where they can find you.
You guys can find me anywhere on the internet if you look for Katrina. That's OHCATRINA. I'm going to be on like a whole bunch of tabletop shows and doing a bunch of stuff this summer. And then, of course, you can find me here. And yeah, what about you, Rachel? Where can they find you?
They can find me on Twitter at Rachel Leishman, on Instagram at Rachel_Leishman. You can find my work at the Mary Sue, where Chris Evans said he loves me. And Taika said she's great, I believe. Hard to hear what he said. Pretty sure he said she's great. That's going to be on my tombstone. Guys, make sure you like, subscribe, listen, tell your friends, comment on stuff. I don't know what you're supposed to do. Do all those things. Tell us what you want us to cover. Again, we're gonna watch NYPD Blue for Jimmy Smits at some point. Sorry, Pedro Pascal. That's gonna be another episode like this where I'm gonna talk about that other guy. But yeah, just get the word out there. I don't know, tag Pedro Pascal so he's like, "Here's the Podro Pascal again." Everyone keeps yelling it at me. And yeah, guys, we did it. This was Burn Notice, The Fall of Sam Axe. Tune in next time where I probably am still talking about Bruce Campbell.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, Katrina, anything you want to say before we bounce?
Don't forget to flush the toilet.
And
Good night,
climb the wall.
everybody.
Bye.